What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Welcome back. I'm Sean.
And I'm Jen. And today we're going to talk about really stupid things that we thank each other for and apologize for. And actually, I came up with this vlog topic because we just were away for the weekend with noise complaint. And I swear, the number of times that you thanked me for things that I was like, everyone in a relationship should do this was insane. Okay? Like, you were just like, oh, thank you for doing this. I'm like, who wouldn't? Every single thing. I'm like, who wouldn't do this in a relationship with a person that they loved, especially if you married them?
Right.
And then that got me thinking about how often I do that and how often we apologize to each other, like, for things like that. So I decided to compile a list with you of all the stupid things that we thank each other for.
It's unbelievable the amount of things that just naturally it's just like, oh, thank you so much for that. Like I got what is it, a icy this weekend? What is it, like a shaved ice? And I was like, I'm gonna get one. She's like, okay, go ahead. And I was like, thank you so much. And then she's like,
Why did you thank me for letting you spend $5? Like, what?
Yeah, it was
ridiculous. And so I decided to make this our vlog/podcast topic because I'm sure we're not the only people that do this. And it really points out a lot that's healthy in a relationship. And it also points out what might have been unhealthy in our past relationships.
Oh, exactly.
So buckle up. This is going to be a ride. The biggest one on the table, I'm just going to start with it. Thank you for supporting my dream.
Thank you for supporting my dreams.
Okay, what person in a relationship wouldn't support the other person's dream? And I know that you and I both have names that just popped up into our head, and I'm sure that you guys listening or watching have names that pop up into your head like, yeah, this person didn't support my dream. So it happens, but we keep thanking each other for being supportive of all the dreams that we have. Like, I wanted to start writing music and doing, like, being in a band and doing solo singing projects. And he's been not only just like, yeah, I support you. I'm fully on board with you doing all of that. I'm going to be your cheerleader. He's also, like, helped me. He's created backtracks for me. He's on stage with me running all the tech, and basically he's learning how to play the keyboards for me. Like, that's support.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you've thanked me for supporting your dreams of doing art and body paint. I've even offered to let him body paint me anytime he wants, even though he has to use acrylic because I'm allergic.
It's crazy because, like, whenever I've come up with, like, an idea or I see something, I'm like, hey, I would love to do that. And she goes, so do it.
I go, so do it. Let's do it. What do I need to do? Let's go out and you can shoot or you can paint, you can draw. Yeah, do it.
She's constantly finding me ideas, finding me references, finding me people to work with, everything. Any idea that pops into her head or that she sees, she goes, this sounds like what you were talking about, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm so thankful for the fact that you keep me energized with this.
And I love that we're grateful for each other. But I'm sitting here like, why are we so grateful as if we're not supposed to do that? Now, like, if you come up with a really, really harebrained scheme and I'm over here like, yeah, that's not gonna work. I'm always honest with him. He says the same things to me. He's like, yeah, Jen, I don't know about this one. I don't think that that's gonna work. Like, if I say, oh yeah, I was thinking about becoming like one of those body paint models. And he'd be like, yeah, Jen, you can't do that. You'll actually die. Or if he says, I was thinking about joining a band as a triangleist, and I'm like, yeah, no, don't do that.
She also shot down my idea of being an opera singer, because apparently I can't sing, so.
So, yeah, it's just be supportive of each other. Be honest with each other when maybe it's not a good idea, but for the most part, like, be supportive. I know that in my past I've had partners that weren't always supportive of the things that I wanted to do, especially music. So every time I do some kind of new project, like I just played him a new song that I'm singing on today, and it sounds so good, by the way. Yeah. I can't wait for y'all to hear it. And I was just like, thank you for letting me be a part of this. And he was like, you're welcome. Like, why did you just thank me for that? This is something you wanted to do and you did. I'm just over here like, yay. Like, it's just such a silly thing to say thank you for, but at the same time, it's nice that we do thank each other for it, I guess.
It's also a little more comforting when the other person does thank you, because you're like, hey, I did a good job finding this idea, or I did a good job making this track, and it kind of gets you like involved too. So
that's the upside of thanking each other for it, but at the same time, I'm over here like, who wouldn't support, like, I don't know if I could be with anybody anymore that wouldn't support my ideas, my dreams. Like, I know you don't support me buying a 5th drum set, but you do support me being a drummer.
Yeah. And like in my past, I've had people that have in my life that have supported me. They're like, yeah, you should do this. But the moment I did, I'd have significant others that were like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to hang out with you today.
Yeah, he would get like a gig and be like, yeah, I've got a photography gig. And then they would be like, oh, so I guess I won't see you today? And I'm over here like, sweet, I got the house to myself. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. But like, you offer to be a part of what I'm doing, and I offer to hold the reflector when he shoots people.
She does really good at it. But yeah, it's such a different feeling to have someone actually excited when I tell her that I have something.
And it's upsetting that it's such a different feeling. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, why is that such a different feeling? I feel like that shouldn't be.
It should just be a natural thing to be supportive and happy for your significant other or your friend doing something.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry, Bento is crazy and he's going to scream his head off right now. So, yay, thanks, Bento. All right, so we support each other's dreams and we're grateful for it, and that's great. How about the little things? There's another thing that we thank each other for all the time, the little things. And this is something that I put on this list for one reason, but it also should be on this list. Be grateful to your significant other when they do the little things, because it's nice to have that, like, oh, I'm so thankful for that. But at the same time, some of these little things are like, who wouldn't do that? Like, if I'm not feeling good and I ask him to, like, take care of me or do, like, make me toast or something, he does it, I am like tears in my eyes grateful, like, thank you so much for making me toast. And he's just like, you're sick.
Yeah,
like, of course I would make you toast. Like,
I literally heated up bread. It's not like I ran a marathon or anything, but yeah, it's those little things of, you know, you seeing something and you picking it up for me because you're like, hey, I know that you needed this. Just like, little things.
Yesterday, we were in Pensacola at a con. He was busy loading the car. Like, he was the one loading the car, and I was just kind of standing there, and I was like, hey, I'll be right back. He goes, okay. I guess you've met me inside. But when I was inside, I made a waffle for him at the free breakfast, and I made him a coffee, and it was all there for him. And he was like, thank you so much. But the way he said it was like he had never expected somebody to do that. I'm like, you're literally loading the van for me. Like, the least I could do was make you a coffee, a terrible coffee at that. But it was at least made.
Oh, yeah. And those are the little things that you shouldn't be so surprised or thankful for.
I think that's what it is. It's not that we shouldn't be thankful for it. We shouldn't be surprised by it. Like, I shouldn't expect you to do these things, but I shouldn't be shocked that someone would do that. You know? And like, when you mop the floor after somebody's been here without me having to ask you, it's the OCD thing. Like, you just mop the floor. And I'm like, thank you. And you're just like, yeah, I don't want you to, like, you know, have a moment. But I'm like so surprised that somebody would do that. Like, I don't know why I'd be surprised that you would take care of me. You married me. Like, that's kind of how this goes.
I kind of agreed to that.
So it's just one of those things that I was thinking of that I'm like, you know, we thank each other for that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good. Thank each other, but not in a, I can't believe anyone would ever do that kind of way. Like,
there's so many little things that you do, and that I can't believe that I'm like, well, as soon as you do it, I'm just like, thank you so much. And it's like you said, it shouldn't be a surprise to us that you're willing to. The other day, you made me a bagel in the morning when I was getting ready for work. I was running a little late, and I go to make it, and the bagel's already ready for me. And she goes, hey, I made this. And I was just floored. I was like, why? I was like, is something wrong? Like, and she's like,
you're hungry.
Yeah, she was like, you needed a little extra time so that way you could, because you woke up late and wouldn't call myself out.
Because you were hungry.
To me, that meant the world to me, that she was willing to just go and make a bagel. But it just shows like how much you care and how much I care.
I care enough to heat up a bagel.
And I'll make you 2 pieces of toast. And I'll even ask you, do you want 1 or 2 pieces? That's how much I care.
So yeah, I just thought that should be included on there. Not that you shouldn't be grateful that your partner does that, but like, don't be with somebody if you would be surprised that they would do that, you know? Here's a big one that I think is such a strange thing to be thanking each other for, just because I don't think that it's anything that we mean to do for each other. It just is a thing. Being on the same page philosophically, politically, financially, all of that. That's not something that I feel like we should be thanking each other for as much as we should be thankful for. Yeah. But we thank each other for that all the time. Like, thank you for being on the same page as me about this issue. And I like, you say that to me sometimes and I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. Like, am I supposed to say you're welcome for that? It's just, I feel this way about this issue. You feel this way about this issue. Yay, we have compatible thoughts about this issue. Like, sometimes they're minor and it wouldn't be a deal breaker, but there are some issues that would kind of be deal breakers. And I know I thank you for being vegan a lot.
And something as simple as we both believe in paying off like cars, houses, things like that as soon as possible. Yes. Or like don't just rack up credit card debt.
Oh yeah.
We like
paying off the credit card right away.
Yeah, we have friends that'll sit there and just live off their credit card, and it's like to us we're like, look at that interest. Look, you're just paying to pay.
It's not. I think what it is that you and I we're on the same page philosophically about this. You and I see the end amount. Other people see the incremental amounts, but you and I view things as, okay, but what's the total over time? Yeah. And I think that's what makes us compatible. Because when you see the total over time and that's what you care about, you don't care so much about the monthly payment versus like, no, about how much total. Yeah. And that's what puts us on the same page. I gotcha. So it's just one of those things where it's like we thank each other for being philosophically on the same page, and I'm over here like, I don't think that we had a choice though. That's not something that we could have changed, but that does segue me into another one. He thanks me for this all the time. Listening to him. That segues into that because when you're not on the same page about something, being willing to listen is such a big deal. Such a big deal. But again, if you're with somebody that's not listening to you, that's not good. And he means it usually from just an actual hearing kind of way. Like, I was joking when he said it. He's like, you listen to me, because we were making the list. He's like, that's what I thank you for that all the time, that you listen to me. And I'm like, unless I'm doing something and then I have to ask you to repeat yourself like 7 times because as I'm doing it, I missed part of what he was saying. But then he was like, but you at least ask me to repeat myself because you actually care about what I have to say. Versus other people who I guess have been like, yeah, that's cool. And he could have said like, purple monkey dishwasher. And they would have been like, oh yeah, I love those. Yeah, go ahead. I'm good with it. You know? And he's just so grateful that I'm actually interested in what he has to say, even if I'm busy. And I do apologize for that. Sometimes I'm like trying to listen, but I'm also answering an email or I'm posting on social media or something. And I'm like, yeah, hold on. All right, repeat the last thing that you said.
And I'm also one of those people that has the worst timing. I am that waiter that comes up to you right as you take a bite. Is everything good? I'm that guy. Like, the moment that she's starting to do something or she's about to take a call or something.
He wants to tell me
and
a
I'm
story.
like, hey, I got a question for you.
Or
She's like,
question.
Hello? And so, like, I'm that person. But to me, like, everybody in their life, they all have pet peeves or they have different things that makes them feel a certain way. And ever since I was a kid, if I talk and I get talked over or if I get ignored, it's always made me feel bad about myself. So, like, if I say something that to me might have felt important, and then the person that I'm talking to is just like, well, I'm not that important.
Or talking over you. Yeah. Which I do have to apologize for a lot with him because we do this to each other. We're very fast thinkers. And my brain finishes your sentence before you do, and then I answer before you even finish talking. I've already like deduced what you're about to say, and so I answer your question before you finish saying it, and then I feel so bad. I'm like, I'm sorry I didn't let you finish. I already figured out what you were trying to ask and answered it right away. Because he does it to me too, because our brains just work so fast. It's like Barry Allen, our hamster. It's like we have one of those living in our brains, and they're just going so fast.
But that's the best part, is because we do it to each other. We understand that it's not an intentional thing, but also we don't like to just have like fluff in our conversation. Like, we're not going to just sit there and just blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm one of those people, I like to say this much information and this many words. I don't like to say this many words with this much information.
My problem is that I always like to say this much information, and if you're not watching right now, my hands are outside of the frame of the camera. So no matter what I want to say, it's going to take me a while to say it.
And so the fact that you listen is amazing. And also, she doesn't get upset if she says something, or if I ask her something, and then if I respond, huh? And then I answer.
Sometimes because sometimes the hamster falls off the wheel.
Yeah.
And we didn't hear it right. We're just like, wait, what? Oh! Like, we heard it delayed.
Yeah. It's like the huh is our breaking point of going, oh, but this is the answer. Yeah, so. And
also, just like when we disagree with each other, we listen to the other person's point of view. And I think that's the other half of it. And going back to that being on the same page politically and philosophically, we are willing to listen to the other person, not just keep what we feel in our head. And the other person starts talking, and we're just coming up with counter arguments the whole time. I know we're all guilty of that at some point. But with your partner, try not to do that, because what they feel and what they believe should be respected enough for you to go, okay, let me hear it from your perspective. I know we don't agree on this, but let me hear why you disagree with me, so that we can have like a conversation. I know a few years ago we disagreed about something pretty significant politically, and I was in a position where I was not willing to listen as much as he was, but I was still willing to listen. It was just one of those things where I felt that passionate about it. But you took a stance that you've had since your whole life, and you were willing to bend it to listen to me. And now we're very much on the same page on that thing. We started completely opposite. Like, I was like, no, this is not okay. And he was like, yes, this is okay. That far apart. And now we're both like, this isn't okay unless X, Y, and Z are in place. Because of us having a, open and honest conversation. And we were willing to listen to the other person's side. Yeah. We voiced it. We answered. We voiced it. We answered. Yeah. So it was just constant. You're not always going to change your mind based on what the other person has to say, but the fact that we came to like a different viewpoint, both of us came to a different viewpoint, meant that we listened to each other. That's not always going to happen. Oh, yeah, no. But, the fact that we listened allowed that to happen. Yeah. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to me. I just feel like that's such an important thing to do in a relationship that it seems so silly to thank each other for, Also, okay. Bento's right there, and I'm like, oh no, he's going to knock this whole thing over. And if he does, what a blooper. This is one that's kind of this takes us into the dumb things that we apologize for, but there's two more things that we thank each other for, but also apologize for. I thank him a lot for letting me wear what I want to wear. I know that sounds weird, but this is where we get into a little bit of like, these two things come from past relationship trauma, I suppose, but thank you for letting me wear what I want to wear. He never says anything about me wanting to wear like a crop top or a short skirt, if I want to wear tights with it, or if I want to wear leggings with it. He has no issues. I think the only time you might mention me wearing something specific as like not a good thing is if I forget to wear a sweater and it's freezing outside or something, or like we're going hiking and I choose platform boots. Functionality. But I was in a relationship at one point where, I wasn't really allowed, and I hate using the word allowed, but like it kind of got to that point. I wasn't allowed to wear a short skirt. I wasn't allowed to consider wearing a crop top. And I keep thanking him for letting me wear these things. First of all, even if you're in a relationship, you are allowed to wear whatever you want to wear, okay? Unless you have a specific uniform you have to wear to work and you don't wear it, then that's different. But you know what I mean? Like, you're allowed to wear whatever you want, and your partner should not make you feel bad for wanting to wear something that you feel confident in, that you feel good in, that makes you feel like yourself, you know? Like, if I want to wear a corset and a tutu skirt, I do. Because I don't want to say you allow me to, but I encounter no resistance.
I encourage her to wear what she wants, what she feels comfortable in.
Yeah, so now I have the confidence to do that. So that's just a minor thing that doesn't touch every relationship, but I felt like it was important to mention just because some people may be in that position, and if I can say to you what I wish somebody had said to me, you can wear whatever you want. Your partner does not control what you wear. And it's a weird thing to thank you for. It just is. Like, thank you for letting me wear what I want to wear. That implies that you have some control over it. And you don't. Yeah. You don't. And then the other thing has affected both of us. We always thank each other for allowing the other, I always thank him for allowing me to work with other people. And he thanks me for the same thing. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like,
and
I'm working with... Sorry.
Naturally, you might sit there and go, well, that's normal. You want to go and work with other people if you're not doing the same thing
Especially
together.
as creatives.
Yeah.
Like, as I'm a musical creative person and he's an artistic creative person, like, we can't work with each other all the time on these things. I'm currently working with a guitarist and a band on some projects. And I think I am currently the only female member of the band. Now, in past relationships, that would have bothered other people. It does not bother him. And I thank him a lot for letting me do that.
And it's funny because she'll be like, thank you so much for letting me do this. And I'm like, I don't control what you do. I appreciate the fact that you're honest with me, that this is who you're going to be with and things like that. I appreciate the fact that she asks, but she doesn't need to.
But I feel like I need to get permission or like thank him for letting me do this music project with this person. Now, whenever I meet a new person that I'm doing a project with, I always bring him because safety, you know, if I never met this person. But once the project gets going, I shouldn't have to like thank you for letting me do it, but like because I guess I'm used to it. I was in a video project years ago. I was doing like a voice acting thing. Yeah. And it also had like live action acting. And there came a point where I actually had to drop out of the project because it was causing too many fights with my significant other, and essentially I was not allowed to be a part of the project anymore. But I didn't want to out that part of my relationship, so I kind of just gave other reasons for backing out of the project. But that was really why I did. And I know that you went through a lot of this in past relationships as well, where like he would be honestly working with noise complaint. You had to apologize a lot for going to a con with noise complaint, or for doing a calendar shoot, a charity. It was a charity calendar shoot. And what happened with that?
It was a charity calendar shoot that I did for an organization that basically had models in bathing suits. And each one had a different theme based on the month and things like that.
And what was the charity again? It was like a good one.
It was Walk of Hope. It basically was designed to help people who had been paralyzed from like waist down or whatever, go through therapy to help either get them back on their feet or get them to the point where they could either drive on their own, or even in some cases there was a couple of the people that actually went through the stem cell stuff to actually one or two of the people were actually able to walk again.
That's insane. That's
what
amazing.
I was doing, and this helped raise money for that.
And it doesn't have to be for charity for your significant other to support it, but I also thought that was just like icing on the cake here.
And I literally like I would bulk shoot so that way I wasn't gone multiple weekends or multiple days. I would shoot 4 or 5 of the people on one day and then a couple more the next day or whatever. And I literally I remember one day I was going to be gone for about 2.5, 3 hours to shoot because it wasn't super in-depth shooting. It was just going to location.
Yeah, and you have to drive to location, and it was a very far location from where you lived. Because I've seen some of those shots. It was like 30-minute drive.
Oh, yeah. So I was going to be gone maybe 4 or 5 hours. And I literally came across my ex going, oh, so you have that shoot today? And I was like, yeah, so I'll be back in a couple hours. Because she was talking about hanging out with her sister at the time. And she goes, well, I guess I won't see you all weekend, so maybe I'll just stay at her house all weekend.
And was it about you being gone, or was it about you working with, like, models?
It was about me working with models. She didn't trust me. She said, I don't believe you, and all this stuff, and made me feel bad about the fact that this charity asked me to donate my time to do this. And other projects, things like that, too. But literally, I was doing a project for a charity, and she made me feel like I was the worst person on earth. So I automatically was like, whenever I've worked with other people, I'm like, are you sure it's okay?
He's always either asking for permission or thanking me for allowing him to do like a shoot with a cosplayer. He shot our friend Brooke. First of all, she's one of the prettiest people on the entire planet, okay? And I was totally cool with it because first of all, she's our friend, and second of all, I trust you, and third of all, it's a business thing. She's a client. You're taking photos, and these Lara Croft photos came out so good. Didn't you do a different one too? Didn't you shoot her with something else?
I shot her and you as Poison Ivy and Harleys. The two
Yes,
Harleys.
the two different Harleys. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I just don't feel like we should be like, thank you so much for letting me do my job.
Right?
What? We're creatives. We're going to be working with other people, and I just don't feel like that's something that we should be like grateful. I mean, grateful, sure, but thanking each other profusely or asking permission for.
I agree.
So I wanted to include that on the dumb things that we thank each other for. And now we get to the apologies. The things we apologize for no reason.
Oh, man.
Asking for a favor.
Yes.
I apologize to him all the time for asking for a favor. I'm like, hey, do you think that you could do this for me? Like today, I was walking on the treadmill, but the treadmill is next to where the litter boxes are, and it was so bad. And because of my allergies, I can't change the litter. So I had to be like, hey, could you change the litter so I can finish my walk? Which I totally didn't end up doing because of another thing I'm going to discuss in a second. But he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I had to ask you to do that. And he's like...
And the funny part is the way that it's set up is today is actually the day that I would have been doing it. So it was like, why are you thanking me?
And also reminding each other of doing things. Like he reminds me to do like a chore that I said I would do. And he's like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to like bother you, but like, can you do that? It's like, no, thank you for the reminder. Like you don't need to apologize for asking me to do something. That's like a shared responsibility. Like sometimes we forget, and also sometimes things become more urgent and the other person just doesn't know. You had no idea that it was that urgent that I needed the litter done. I didn't know either until I started to walk on the treadmill, but it was urgent.
Oh yeah, but like the asking for favors or things, this is one of my favorite examples. I will be making food or making something in the kitchen, and she's in the living room, we're about to watch something, and she'll go, hey, can you get me a drink? So I'll grab her a soda, and I'll, thank you so much. Or she goes, I'm sorry I asked.
I'm sorry I asked you
and
to
I'm
do
like,
that.
Why are you
I'm sorry. Like he'll hand me the Coke, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I made you do that for me. And
I was in the kitchen. I was in the fridge. All I did was, here you go. I took 8 steps and gave it to you. Like, you don't have to apologize.
It's just such a silly thing. I know it's like you and me both being like very grateful for each other, but also it's just such a silly thing to like apologize for. That's something we should be grateful for, not necessarily apologizing for all the time. And that brings me to why I didn't finish my walk on the treadmill. I apologize to him all the time for this. Taking nap. Like today, we had just gotten back from PensCon. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I am sunburned. I have this beautiful sunglasses, like tattoo on my face. Now I tried to cover it up as best I could, so maybe you can't see it, but yeah, at least my nose is like Rudolph red right now. And sun just knocks me out, and I didn't sleep very well all weekend either, just because like lots of different reasons, mostly stress, you know, when you're in charge of a company.
Oh yeah.
So I was just beat, and as soon as I finished my work day, I went to go walk on the treadmill, and I had to take that pause until he did the litter. And then I was just like, oh, I'll just sit on the floor until he's on break and can do that. It was going to be like 10 minutes. And sitting turned into laying face down on the floor and falling asleep. So I was like, you know what? I really need to take a nap. I'm pretty sure I need to take a nap. And I took one. And as soon as I got up, I was like, hey, I'm really sorry that I took a nap. And he's like, you needed it. And
Right.
I do this all the time. Every time I take a nap, I apologize for it because for some reason I feel like if I'm not being productive or if I get to take a nap and he doesn't, I'm like the worst person in the world. It's so dumb. Okay. And then he does the exact same thing to me, but when you sleep in.
Oh yeah, like I don't even sleep in super late.
No,
but
like he slept till 8:30 today and apologized for it.
Right? Yeah.
He works at 10.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so sorry that I slept in, and she was like,
you gave me time to run.
yeah, she ran. She was doing her work and stuff, and she was like, "Why are you apologizing?" She's like,
You have no reason to apologize for sleeping in. I'm glad you got to sleep in. And he says, I'm glad you got to take a nap. And it's just one of those super dumb things that we apologize to each other for. Like,
Yes.
we should be grateful that we have, like, the ability to take a nap or the ability to sleep in this day. But no, we have to, like, be guilty about it. Like, I'm sorry I took a nap.
"I'm sorry, I overslept, and now no." Everything got done. Everything was taken care of. So it was our free
I
time.
would have woken you up if you needed to be up.
Yeah.
You would have woken me up if you didn't want me to take a nap. Or if I shouldn't have taken a nap.
Start poking her in the forehead. Are you awake?
Yeah. And then the last two on this list are kind of the same-ish. And it goes back to that like past relationship trauma. We apologize a lot to each other for this. Getting attention from others. And by attention, I mean when people flirt with you. Or like even just talk to you. I'll be at Dragon Con, and this is really where I notice it. At Dragon Con, I'm a well-known figure in some circles. I'll just put it at that. And part of my job is to wear really, really cool costumes and look very pretty. And I get a lot of attention when that happens. So when that happens, I'm nice to the people talking to me. People flirt a lot with me. And at the end of the day, I'm always like, I'm really sorry that I talked to so many people and that I got all that attention. And he's like, that's like literally your job today.
That's what you're here to do. Like, you're here to entertain and have fun and just joke with people.
Part of being a dancer for the band that I dance for, Cruise Shadows, when you're at Dragon Con, part of our job there is to be, it's kind of like being a booth babe, I guess. And if you don't know what that is, again, you just wear like a very, very nice looking costume. You look approachable, you look pretty, and it makes people come to the table, talk to you, and then they buy stuff. So, yes,
Marketing.
I'm going to get attention, and every single time I just apologize to him for it because I'm so used to having to be sorry for it, and it's such a silly thing to be sorry for. And then he does it to me after a show. He'll have somebody come up to him like, "Oh my God, you were so good! You were amazing! I loved watching you!" And he'll be like, "Hey, I'm sorry that person complimented me about the show. Like he's like upset that they complimented him and not me." I'm like, what? I'm glad you got a compliment. I'm so glad that somebody felt like they wanted to tell you how good you did. Like, I'm so proud of you. And it's just one of those really stupid things that we keep apologizing to each other for.
And we have no reason to. None. No reason to apologize, but we just feel like we need to.
Yeah.
Because we're like, well, I got attention and you didn't in this situation. And it's like...
Or I got attention from people in this situation. And it's just silly. And then that getting attention and you didn't is like, it brings me to the last one, which is being in the spotlight. I apologize for this all the time. When my channel hit 10,000 subscribers, I remember being excited, but also kind of apologizing to him that it was my channel and not this one that happened to. And he was like, "Are you serious? You've been working on your channel for 3 years. I'm so proud of you."
Yeah.
But I was like, but I feel like it should have been us that got this and not just me. Like, I want it to be us. And I'm sorry that I'm getting all this attention and then I'm getting all the spotlight and stuff. And I'm always apologizing for that. And then what?
There's
And then
T'Challa. Sorry about that.
he's looking for his brother, who is literally right here. And I'm sorry I'm in the spotlight, T'Challa. He does it to me too. Like if he gets a gig for selling his art or showcasing his art, and I didn't also get that same gig as a performer, he's like, I'm really sorry. And I'm like, first of all, I don't have to do anything. Second of all, I'm so proud of you. But what is this like instant jerk reaction that we have to apologize to each other for achieving something or for getting recognized for something? Like, what is that instant jerk reaction of, I'm so sorry?
And it shouldn't be there because neither one of us have ever made the other one feel like they need to.
No.
But unfortunately, previous situations have made us feel that way. And I'm just thankful that I'm with somebody who lets me be me, doesn't judge me for being me, and doesn't make me feel bad for being me.
Right back at you. I think the best thing that anyone can be in a relationship is a cheerleader. And I don't mean like with pom-poms, although I do have some. I just think that the best thing that we can be for each other is each other's cheerleader. You know, I'm ready to do these things with you, but when it's not my turn to do it with you and you're getting to do these things on your own, my job is to be proud of you and to do the look at him in all of his glory thing, you know? Like, it's just, like, be your cheerleader. And I think that's just what's really important. Accept each other, listen to each other, be grateful for each other, and be each other's cheerleader. And that might stop us from thanking each other for things that we don't need to thank each other for and apologizing for things that we absolutely do not need to apologize for. So that's our list of really, really stupid things that we thank each other for and apologize to each other for.
Yeah.
And let us know if you do any of these things or if you have some that are different from ours. Like, what is something really ridiculous that you consistently thank your partner for or partners? Let us know, because I want to know I'm not alone in this, okay?
Same. Help us out. Let us know that we're normal.
Yeah. I do hope that you guys haven't had some of the relationship trauma that we've been through, but if you have, let us know, and we will be in this together, you know? But yeah, I had a great time with this vlog / podcast. That's my telling him, like, it's time to do the ending.
We're sorry for how long it went.
And thank you for being here.
But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that follow or the subscribe button, whatever it is on there. Also, make sure you hit that thumbs up, 5 stars, whatever the rating system is if you enjoyed this. Definitely leave a comment. Let us know, like she said, things that you apologize for, things that you are thankful for, that you probably didn't need to necessarily be like, let me put this out there because I'm sorry, or thank you.
And, sorry, if you were watching, you saw me like almost, but then I was like, wait, he's still talking. Because again, I finished it before he finished. And if you have topics that you want us to do vlogs and podcasts on, please write those down in the comments. I know that I got one the other day that I'm very, very excited to do with you, and you have no idea what it is, but I'll tell you when we're done filming, and maybe we'll film it today.
Cool.
Yay. But yeah, make sure that you write some comments, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.
But thanks for hanging out with us. I'm Sean.
And I'm Jen.
And we're out of here. Bye.